I'm Sami Hamed. I'm a Democrat running for the City Council here in Ward 1. I'm a resident of the Menlo Park neighborhood. I have been a resident here in Ward 1 for 19 going on 20 years. A city council member has two primary duties. One is to represent the constituents as best as possible on the city council at City Hall, and also to respond to their constituent needs and requests when they were asked for assistance on something. Ward 1 took quite the hit during the recession, if you will. A lot of jobs were lost, a lot of businesses closed down here at times, if you will, a lot of small businesses. And since we're starting to dig out of that recession, businesses are opening and flourishing now again. Socially, Ward 1 is a very vibrant area that takes in, of course, the west side of Tucson, as well as part of the south side and even a part of downtown. And so we've seen a lot of the change of Ward 1 as time has gone on, socially speaking. We've had of course a lot of old families here in Ward 1, and now we're getting a mixture of old and younger families moving in here now into Ward 1. Politically, Ward 1 is very progressive. It always has been. It's been a leader when it comes to progressive issues. My first three priorities would be on day one if elected. One, constituent service. That's number one job, in my opinion. That's the first thing I would do is ensure that we provide the best constituent service by responding to our constituents, addressing their needs, questions, and concerns, and to be visible at events and neighborhood meetings where they want to hear us and see us and get to know us, and also get their ideas and thoughts and talk to them. Number two would be roads. Roads is the biggest issue I hear about from voters knocking on doors, is to work to get the roads fixed. And when I say roads, I'm not talking about the main arterial or big streets, if you will. I'm talking about neighborhood streets, smaller streets. I think it's time we fix those, and that would be my other key issue as well as council member. And my last issue I will work on is neighborhood quality of life, preserving the character and culture of our neighborhoods that make them what they are and that bring the beauty to them, that also help reflect Tucson. I've been getting a lot of feedback from voters knocking at the doors, and they'll tell me usually, I call Ward 1, I don't get a response. I've asked to meet, and I never get a response on my meeting request. Or I've gone and supposed to have a meeting with a council member, and instead they have a staff person come in and they said the council member is not available. That's not good constituent service. As a result, it breeds contempt, and it also allows for bad public policy to be created, because they're obviously not listening to the voters and learning from them and keeping an open door policy and an open ear to them. My commitment has been and it will be, if I'm elected to the city council, is to hire the best staff possible, hire a staff that I can guide, that can ensure that, one, we're visible, two, that we're listening, and three, that our door is always open to the constituents, whether they contact us via dropping into the Ward 1 office, calling us, or emailing us, or being visible at neighborhood association meetings and community events. I want them to know that I work for them, they don't work for me, and that I have to be held accountable to them all during the 4 years of my term if elected, actually. And that would be the difference versus what's being done in Ward 1 right now to what I'll do if I'm elected. I'll be a complete 360 when it comes to how I operate and govern as a member of the Tucson City Council for Ward 1. Our biggest challenge right now is getting our roads fixed. I think that's been our challenge for 20, 30 years. It's our challenge today. It's going to be our challenge for the next decade easily, actually, is to get our roads fixed. We're starting to make some headway. We passed Prop 101 in 2017. I think that was great to pass. It fixed our main arterials, but like I said, we need to look at fixing our neighborhood streets. So that would be that would be one of my priorities, and I would make that a priority as a council member to vote on such to get that done, or even we're help address getting the funding towards that. Another issue I feel that we have is, of course, the economy, jobs, making sure we can bring good jobs and also put the incentives, if you will, in place for creating good jobs. Now, when I talk about incentives, I'm not talking about the financial incentives to lower businesses here, whether it be Jeep-lit, tax incremental financing, or other various even downtown incentives. The incentives I'm talking about that the voters of Ward 1 want to see to attract those jobs and get them here good sidewalks, good usable, drivable roads, good, clean, safe parks, good quality of life, beautiful neighborhoods that have character, culture, and life that are vibrant, as well as things that I can't control, if you will, or have a say in per se, but our schools. But we can always partner with our schools together, because if we have those incentives, like I just mentioned, then those are attractive qualities to employers who will come into Tucson and Ward 1 and hire our workforce. You know, gentrification, of course, the voluntary displacement of people. And what we hear about gentrification is people are being pushed out of their homes because of high property values and high property taxes. Well, while knocking on a door recently in the Dunbar neighborhood, I met a woman, an elderly woman who lives on a fixed income on Social Security, a very small amount. She owns her home, and she said, I can't afford my home. And I asked her, is it because of the property taxes? She said, no, it's not the property taxes. I can't afford it because of the upkeep on it, because it's such an old home and I can't afford to maintain it. And that's another aspect of gentrification we're seeing now. Home affordability and the aspect of trying to maintain the home. And that's one thing that hasn't been talked about, and that's one thing I'd like to address. The city of Tucson can address gentrification like this when it comes to property values, but also especially these old homes, by helping to provide the assistance to help people upkeep and maintain their home, so they don't have to get pushed out of it, if you will, or being forced to sell because they can't afford that upkeep. And we can do that as well. Rio Nuevo has been a boom to downtown. It's helped move downtown. It's helped flourish. People want to live there. They want to work there. They want to open their businesses there in downtown. Downtown is a hopping place now, 24/7 pretty much, all year round. Rio Nuevo, here on the west side, if you will, here in the Menlo Park neighborhood, has also helped provide some development, if you will, of places like the Mercado and things like that. And I know they're supportive of the Mission Gardens here. Rio Nuevo needs to be involved in the conversation, but they also need to talk and work with the neighborhoods as well. Not just the city council member, but also with the neighborhoods. The neighborhoods have to have a say and a role in how Rio Nuevo helps develop here on the west side and downtown area, of course, in my opinion. I'm an A in I-11. I think I-11 is going to be disruptive. I think it'll hurt our environment, and it'll hurt our businesses, and I think that we don't need I-11. I think in the alternative, what we need is we need to update and expand I-10 and I-19 instead to accommodate the need that I-11 would possibly provide instead. And I think it's even better and cheaper to work on and updating I-19 and I-10 instead of creating I-11. Well, you know, our history when it comes to the water and the contamination of it, it goes back a long time, of course, with the Tucson Airport, the U.S. Air Force, and Hughes Missile Systems, now Raytheon, having dumped the contaminants into it, the TCE, and of course now you heard recently about there's a high level of PFAS in the water system. We have worked hard to make sure that our aquifer is sound and to make sure that our water is clean and drinkable and usable. And I think we're doing a good job of that as a city. Regarding the litigation against 3M Corporation, I do support it. I think we need it, actually. I think that litigation will help us resolve the legal questions surrounding that, but also help us get more information and see what's been done right, and most especially what's done wrong and how we can correct it. And maybe this litigation will force them to address it with the city, or if not, let the courts handle it, and they'll address it appropriately. Sure, one thing I wanted to tell them is that I'd give a little more history about myself. My parents live here in Tucson. My father comes from Libya, came here back in the 70s to go to college at the University of Arizona, met my mother, who is Mexican-American. I have a lot of family here in the Tucson area, but most especially in Ward 1 and Barrio Hollywood and other parts of the west side and the south side of Ward 1. I feel that in order to be a good council member, I think when it comes to issues, any of the issues like immigration, like the economy, like jobs, neighborhoods, transit, the environment, water, things like that, the best council member I think like I could be, I'm going to listen and learn from the people and that I always keep an open door policy, and that I welcome criticisms, good, bad, or indifferent. And that goes with the job. And since they can learn more about me by going to my website, samihamed.com. And they can also contact me on social media as well, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'm more than willing to learn and hear their concerns and things like that, because, you know, their concerns, some of the best ideas could probably pop up from their concerns, comments, or questions.